My new girlfriend broke up with me not even a month into the relationship. From the time we started talking we progressed pretty fast, we clicked very well. Conversations were engaging and fresh, in person I couldn't take my eyes off of her and was hooked and vice versa. After 3 to 4 weeks of talking and dating she asked me to be her boyfriend. It was a very casual way and I truly liked this girl and could see a future with her, so I said sure. A week after that she asked while lying in bed if I said I love you, would you say it back. I was the reluctant one and said I wasn't sure yet because romantic love does take a while to blossom, but I do have love for her and I'm very close to saying it. A few days after she said it to me and I said it back, cue the feeling of pure bliss, I'm sure all of us are searching for. Things were going well, but she did say that she was still healing from bad experiences and a bad relationship earlier that year. She said she was planning on staying single and that I was an unexpected surprise. Last weekend we had a good weekend and got dressed up in clothes she bought me to go to the Renaissance Festival. Everything seemed fine that night and the next morning. Later that day she came over to break up with me, seemingly out of nowhere. The reasoning in her words was that she feels like we click on some levels but not others and that she does love me but wasn't sure if it's a forever love. That her mind had to catch up to her heart, and even though she feels a spark, it's not a sun-sized spark she's felt in the past. This totally blindsided me as that's not the vibe I was getting in the slightest. She pushed the pace and seemed infatuated with me. I was the one who was reluctant to drop my walls, yet here I am with a pretty broken heart. Has this happened to anyone in the past or have you been in her position? What was the reasoning? I have a plan to try and win her back in a couple weeks, not sure if I'm wasting my time but I'm going to at least try once. Edit. Also I forgot to add she's on anti-anxiety medication, and has recently swapped up what she's taking I believe. Not sure if that makes any difference at all, just thought I'd add it in there. Comment. That would be a waste of time. If anything, she would have to work to win you back, as she is the one who imploded the relationship. But she's probably not going to do that, as she seemed pretty clear about ending things regardless of her exact words, and it's always a 50-50 in early breakups that the reasons someone gives are the actual reasons, or just meant to end things as calmly as possible. For all you know, she just hates that you drive an old Toyota, or that you're bad in bed, or that she's thinking about getting back with an ex and wants you out of the picture. Who knows? From here it's difficult to even say if she's doing this because she is very mature and just knows what she wants, or is immature and constantly searching for the next emotional high. She's a game player. Don't waste your time. Story 2. My girlfriend cheated on me, but after what she told me her reasons, I realized I'm guilty too. I need some advice or just a listening ear right now. Me and my girlfriend, who I'll call Beatrix, not her real name. We've been together for 7 years, and everything was fantastic until things took a turn 4 years ago. Apologies in advance if my English isn't perfect, it's not my first language. I work in the law enforcement, and Beatrix works in an office, which, as you'll see it will becomes a crucial detail. We met when we were 23, we became close friends, and eventually became a couple when we were 25. We were the perfect couple, according to our friends and family, we fell head over heels for each other, everything was amazing. However, at 29, I got a rank promotion, and from that point on, my life revolved around my job, leaving little time for Beatrix. Or at least, that's what I thought. Now, I realize it was me who neglected our relationship without even realizing it. I thought I was just busy, but now I see that I didn't make time for Beatrix. During this time, I thought we were in an okay relationship, but I couldn't have been more wrong. My lack of affection and my oblivious negligence went for so long until recently when I discovered that she was having an affair with a coworker, let's call him George. After confronting her, there was a heated argument, and she didn't deny anything. But then, something inside her snapped. Beatrix broke down and confessed how much she missed the old me, how I'd been distant for these years, and she was the only one initiating cuddles and intimacy. Once she stopped initiating cuddles and saw that I wasn't doing anything about it, she cried herself to sleep when I failed to reciprocate. In her outburst, I saw love, pain, anger, regret, and frustration in her eyes and voice. She held me tightly, and her desperation was palpable. She knew what she did was horrible and that she didn't said anything made everything worse, but she begged me to put myself in her shoes. She had waited for almost 3 long years, and even now, she loves me as much as the day we got together. She said she was desperate for even the slightest hint of affection from me, but nothing. It was heartbreaking to see her so upset, and she explained how she'd been patiently waiting for me to change. We both had our faults, but I didn't realize mine until that moment. The guilt hit me like a train. Memories of her warm embraces, gentle touches, and even the smallest gestures of love I'd ignored came rushing back. All because I was too focused on my job and myself. I struggled to find the right words to apologize, hanging my head low, realizing how selfish I've been and for neglecting an angel like her. After calming down, she shared all the details and showed me her phone with evidence of what she said. Beatrix and George had slept together only twice in 2 months, once they had intimacy, the other they just slept in the same bed together, and regretted it immediately. They were both in similar situations, with their respective partners lacking affection. Seeking comfort in each other's arms was a temporary escape, but there were no romantic feelings involved. George, who is married and has a child, has a similar issue with his wife, who shows him no affection and ignores him. I deeply love Beatrix, and I can't help but blame myself. She says she never stopped loving me and that, with patience, overcoming our mistakes and professional counseling, we can fix our relationship. I want that too, but I'm struggling to get over the fact that she slept with another man, even though I understand the circumstances that lead her to do that and my responsibilities. This all happened yesterday, and we ended up sleeping in separate rooms. I've been crying like a kid all night. I'm at a crossroads and not sure what to do next. How should I move on from now? Comment. You are never at fault if your partner cheats. Not even 1%. She is the one who should feel guilty, not try to pass the guilt to you. If she was unsatisfied about something in your relationship, the correct course of action is to talk about it before it gets too big. Not to start fucking some random guy at work. Especially if she did it repeatedly, over the course of months/years. Up to you, but to me this is crossing the Rubicon. A person who cheats once will find it easier to do it again. She is trying to manipulate you, using crocodile tears, and if it were me she would be out the door. Cheating is never justified. You're responsible for a lot, but your partner's affair is not one of them. Yes, you were a bad partner, you didn't communicate or show affection, etc. But that doesn't excuse her affair, or somehow make it your fault. Your GF is an adult. She could have brought this up and communicated her issue. If that didn't work, she could have ended things with her morals intact. Having an affair was pure selfishness. It didn't solve either of their problems, and just made the situation more complicated. If you decide to stick around, you'll now have her infidelity to deal with on top of dealing with your own issues. Leaving is easier. You can't pretend this didn't happen. Reconciliation isn't a cakewalk. Trust is broken, and it'll take years of work before it ever gets back to a semblance of what it once was. No matter what you end up doing, tell the other man's wife. Hell, if you end up staying together, have your partner do it. Let it be a test. It's really up to you how you want to move forward. I understand why you might feel like it was your fault, but that should never resort to cheating. Was she communicating with you that she felt neglected? If so, did you do anything about it? Either way, cheating is cheating. If you want to fix the relationship, then work on ways to give her more attention. If it's deal breaker to you, then move on. Just remember you deserve more than sitting in your bedroom alone crying. I hope everything works out for you. You love her and that's understandable. Even if she told you directly or indirectly how unhappy she was, she didn't have to cheat. I'm sure if she left you, if you didn't see it before, you would have seen it at that point. She was being selfish. She not only slept with someone else but emotionally cheated on you by being so intimate with him. She didn't just sleep with him. She had a very personal relationship with him. If you want to try and make it work, counseling is a must. But no one would blame you for calling it quits. It's very difficult to get over something like this. You cannot forget it and much less easily forgive it. Story 3. Aftermath of reconciling, rejected from my family for reconciling. TLDR, my family hates that I've reconciled, rejected me. His family loves him in spite of what he did. He comes out the winner and I come out from this suffering forever. Either I leave and that's not what I want, or I stay and lose my family. It's been a year and no changes from my family, plus they are cruel to me because they are angry at me for doing this. I'm struggling with no part of reconciling except his family fully support him in spite of what he did to me. They all really love him, support him, and want him to be the best person he can be. They still look up to him, and that annoys me because he's not a saint. I think he's spoiled, and they think if they treat him like he's so great he will be great. His family also loves me and is really good to me, and blindly think our families will be close in the aftermath. My family was there for me in the aftermath of infidelity, but hate him and the people who raised him to do that to me and don't forgive him. It's created big problems in my life to the point that I'll be getting married without family present, and I haven't seen my sister and her kids for a year. They say they love me, but they won't forgive him. They also think I'm stupid and have said many hurtful things to me in fights to hurt me, suggesting I'm deserving of being cheated on. My life will be with a loser who cheats on you. I'm devoid of my own thoughts because I would be married in his church instead of my own. I'm brainwashed and I have no life experience to realize you leave when cheated on, full stop. So they have all lost respect for me, and the only outcome to them where I gain back their respect is leaving him at 28 after 6 years and whilst engaged, which happened before infidelity. What he did was start texting a woman he met while fighting with me, and he kept that up for 4 or so days, and I saw the texts on his phone. He denied it and kind of blamed me, all while my older sister was present. She thought he was one of the worst people she's ever seen after that, and I understand because it was a horrible side of him. He says he didn't actually do anything with her physically, but my family think he probably did, and also that he has probably done this before, and I have now cemented my worthlessness through this act of reconciliation. He took complete responsibility and has been trying to repair things with me as well as show me how important I am to him. We've done therapy, etc. I am willing to move forward as his acting out made him try to be better to me. However, now I feel he destroyed my family life while he comes out of this unscathed. And it's not fair, and it's not going to change, so I'm struggling with a reality like this. It feels like I've been punished for trying to be level-headed and reconcile. I feel I'm not so worthless, and this is an aspect of his character flaws, not mine. The thing that hurts me the most is that he did the worst thing to me, but I'm the pathetic one apparently and the loser. It makes me not want to be with him or have a relationship with my family. I am sick of my life. Comment. Fact is, family is supposed to unconditionally love you. Do they have to support your choices? No. Should they treat you unfairly because they don't like it? Also no. He should do what he can to show them he's serious about and remorseful as well. I didn't tell mine BC I didn't want him treated any differently. I knew they wouldn't with me, but they would with him. I only told my best friend, and after reconciliation I told my mother. My best friend obviously had my back regardless, but never treated my spouse any differently. I'm a person who doesn't necessarily believe that just BC people are family, that they should be in your actual inner circle if they've wronged you or don't treat you properly. If they're being outwardly rude to you or making comments about your WS, I'd go low contact. But that's me personally. I don't tolerate disrespect of myself of people who I consider my circle of people, no matter who it is that's doing the disrespecting. Has he made any efforts to atone with your family of origin? At the end of the day, as long as you choose to reconcile, I believe in the phrase that when you get married your partner becomes your family and everyone else becomes a relative. I wish I had practiced that more with my wife early in our relationship. It was almost 2 years after day one that my immediate family and I started talking and coming around to the idea that my husband, then boyfriend, wasn't going anywhere. They wanted nothing to do with him and banned him from family activities, so I stopped attending. There were some traumatic events that led to them connecting again and resuming an amicable relationship. My parents love my husband like their own son. We had been best friends since we were preteens. I would ask your family if their hatred for your partner is more valuable than a relationship with you. You don't need to live your life for your family. Frankly, it's none of their business. They are trying to control you. At the end of the day, they are claiming to be upset with him because of what he did to you. But you are the one who wants R. So their response is to be cruel to you, to punish him for being cruel to you. Doesn't make sense. You need to do what you feel in your heart is right. Not what other people say.